This video shows how to add point of interests to the database of Track of the Day in version 4.1 and newer. After we started Track of the Day, we can click the Add Files button. A file selection dialog like this one opens. To import a series of points of interest from, for example, a CSV file, you have to select Garmin POI star.csv. Alternatively, points of interest imported from Google Maps. What also works is importing photos. Here are also files in HEIC format supported by an Apple iPhone, for example. But today we want to import CSV files. Here you can already see the alpenrouten.de. So these are files I got from downloaded from www.alpenrouten.de. Here we now see the import dialog for points of interest. This dialog has two areas. Up here we have a list of the dates we selected, and here below we have a preview area. Make some adjustments in the middle. If you click on an element in the upper list, the contained point of interests displayed in the preview area. If you click on the icon with the magnifying glass, the point of interest is opened in Google Maps. This gives you the opportunity to check whether the order of latitude and longitude for this point of interest is really correct. If it's not correct, we'll see some completely wrong locations. Here we opened the POI in Ethiopia, which is wrong. So we can assume that here at longitude and latitude the order in the GEO coordinates of the points of interest stored here is correct. If we don't want to import everything we have here in this list, we can eject the files one by one. I'm deleting everything but the passports. For example, here the saddles, gorges and tunnels I don't want either. Here I also have the opportunity to look at these files in plain text. This is what the points of internets look like before they are imported. In order for the passports to be imported, these points of interest are type and a category. Some types are already pre-selected here. I'll take Alpine routes here. I have one here, two type created here is called passports. If you want to change that, click on this pen icon. Then you come to the editor for the POI types. If you want to create a new type, click here plus. For example, gives him the name Great Guy. You also have the possibility here, for example, to open an editor. If you want to take over this symbol, there are 4 different sizes. The largest size looks great, of course, but it is slow within the representation. What has proven itself is the medium size. You confirm with a mouse click. If you click on the icon, added this symbol to this type. You can also get rid of it by clicking on the small garbage can clicks. Then he's gone again. Now we have chosen our passports. Latitude and longitude are correct. We have a type and we have a category. We can now click Import All and would have to wait a moment. Now the points of interest are loaded into our local SQL database. After the import, we can open the database view by right-clicking here, click on the map, and then select Open Database View down here. In the data view, we have a list of tracks. It is at the moment still empty, and we don't have any routes either. But we now have all sorts of points of interests, all of which we just imported. If you select one of these points of interest, it is displayed as a preview on the map. If you click on this preview, a pop-up opens that allows this point of interest on the map. If you delete the selection again, the POI is included in the map. After the next reboot, he will also shown here again. About this icon here, you can temporarily show and hide the POIs. The POIs that are contained in the map, also remove them from the map. They then disappear from the top area, but remain in the database. Complex selections are possible in the database view. Here I have now selected 5 points of interest. If you click on this button now, these 5 points of interest will include it in the map. Here you can find all POIs again show, and how you can remove them again. Okay, what else can we do with these POIs? For example, we can choose a point of interest as the start of a route. I'll do that now. Now we have started a new route. From this POI now we want to go to this POI, for example. To do this, we click on this symbol. An attempt is now made to find a route connecting these two passes. Okay, this is happening now. We can set how the route calculation works below. I've selected Avoid Bands here. Since we are having winter right now, likely most of the passes up here are snowy and impassable. I'll change that to Optimize by Distance now. I am deliberately ignoring the fact that these passes may not be passable at the moment and recalculate my route again. Now we see that something completely different comes out. This route now leads to this pass along. It's nearby, so we can add it to this route as a via point. Now we can do the same with this point. We're going there now, maybe to this POI here, and then to this POI. Okay, now we can see what else is available. Maybe we can use this pass as a via point as well. Let's see what comes of it. The route we have now calculated has 990 kilometers. See that is up here. So it's pretty long. But with version 4.1, we have the possibility to use the new TraveldaySplitting. So we can do this route split into travel days. Here you can set that we're 300 kilometers a day at an average speed of 50 kilometers per hour. Our route is scheduled to start on June 1st. We would need 4 days. Now we have divided the route. I can delete these routes here. Now I basically have 4 different routes here. If I want to see the complete route history, I can click on this icon. Then I switched on the connected routes. I can also lock the card. You can do that with this symbol here. Now I can see the exact course of the route. We have a very short tour down here. Here we can see them is only 90 kilometers long. Actually, you can do it in 3 days. We have the option here, the route 3 and 4 merge back together again. To do this, we click with the right mouse button and select merge with another route with route number 4. Finally, I would like to show you how to import the POIs that marked on Google Maps. You can see my Google Maps profile here. We see points of interest here in Lanzarote and Tenerife. There are also all sorts of POIs here in Corsica, Sardinia, Sicily in the Alps. That's a big list. You can go to Google Maps, request an export of these POIs. Once the export is complete, you will receive an email containing a download link. You can download a file in GeoJSON format via this download link. This GeoJSON data can also be imported into Track of the Day. I want to show you that now. For importing a large file the same way as with the CSV file, click on Add at the top and select JSON down here. Now we can look at the POIs in the View JSON format. You don't understand it right away. So it's good that there is a Track of the Day. As with the CSV files, we can also open a preview here. Latitude and longitude cannot be selected here because these values are fixed. So there is no order, everything is clearly defined here. We can now also tackle a type here. Let's take Google Maps. We create a new category. I'll call it My POIs. You can now also assign a logo. I assign this white Google logo. Now I click on Import here. There are now 492 points of interest in imported the track of the day database that I previously exported from Google Maps. Okay, let's take a look at the result. These are my POIs. In the database view, you have the option to create queries. Here's an example. I wrote category equals my. Category is the heading above this column. Everything that begins with my is now displayed. Now we only see my POIs. If you press Ctrl+A, all POIs selected, i.e. my almost 500 POIs. If you click this button, they will all included in the map. Now we have my POIs in track of the day. Now I could go and say that the route should start at the car C. Then maybe I'll go here, etc. Okay, now we have planned a nice tour of 318 kilometers. This tour contains all sorts of points of interest that we ourselves will at some point in Google Maps arranged. In version 4.1 of Track of the Day, there is also a nice other feature. I open this route again, and I throw out all the points of interest that we see here from the map view. Let's plan a new route, let's say here from this point here. In the settings of Trek of the Day, I can now set one here in the Routing tab, enter search radius 4 points of interest. This is the distance in the POIs is searched for. At the moment, the search is a maximum of 1 kilometer away from my route. I'm now looking for POIs along the route, and lo and behold, I have 4 beautiful alpine passes found, and there is also a POI here. There is a cable car. Another nice feature of version 4.1 are the automatically generated road books. I want to show you that. When do you click on Share at the top? Now select docx document at the bottom. A Word document will now be generated. You can now see this document here. This is basically the short description of our tour, start and finish, and the points of interest that we want to visit on the way. So that a navigation device such as a BMW Navigator or a TomTom or Garmin, if the device really takes this route, you should set additional route points. Otherwise, it would be quite possible that a completely different route guidance comes about. Here you can see that there are many variants. If we exactly the planned route guidance want to have, we have to get the navigation device to do that it drives this route as we have planned it. We can do a refinement for this. About the right mouse button we select Refine Route. For example, here we can say 29 via points, automatically add to this route. Now the navigation system follow this route exactly. In the routing options, can to set the new AutoShaping. It is currently activated. If I do this when I open the route in the route editor, I see that the first waypoint is a green via point. Everything else is grey shaping points. Our destination is also a via point. We can define a pause here and see that waypoint 13 is now also has become a via point. He should be approached now and is currently taken into account within the route calculation with 5 minutes. You also have the possibility to plan the break longer. It is also 15 minutes, 30, 60 or 120 minutes possible. Some users have asked how to do refueling stops, for example, in this route. Okay, let's pretend as if we wanted to make a refueling stop somewhere in the middle of this route. For this we must first find a gas station. For this we open the POI search. Now I'm looking for gas stations. For example, here have I found a gas station. Let's say this is the gas station where we want to refuel our motorcycles. Now we can, by clicking on this star icon, turn this gas station into a POI. We can also change the type. For this we create a new category at what we call gas station. Now we can do this integrate gas station into our route. Now we have planned a refueling stop. We have a start point, an end point, we have several POIs, and we have this made the navigation system follow the route the way we want it to. So I'm at the end of my video. I hope you had some fun and see you in the next video. Take care, stay healthy, see you soon and bye.